Hey, what's up, everyone? Morey Croson here with the Performance Lab of California. Thought we'd do another breakdown here today on Tim Tebow. We got a recommendation to actually do Tim Tebow. I thought it was a good idea just because you can get some good information about what a good way to throw, what is not so good way to throw, and yeah, I think that's always good information. It's always good to know what not to do as always know what to do. So. We'll go right into the breakdown here. This is a good little angle also. So, the big thing Tim Tebow he gets a bad kind of rap with how he moves the arm, and so we're going to go into that. But also see some things that he does within the lower body. One of the things here when he steps, looks like he has a little bit of some instability in that back knee when he lands just because of how it bends and kind of shakes a little bit there. But anyway, he does a good job of actually getting the pivot going. He takes a pretty long stride when he throws. He's got really a big time kind of pitcher's type of throw. Really, he wants to do a better job of pulling down with that right arm. And by pulling down with the right arm, and also really keeping rotation, going with the hip to the right. So see how when he's rotating here, how his hips end up going to the left. That makes it so he ends up having to lean over to the side like how he does. So if he was able to push off that back leg to make his weight go more to the right, so he kind of pushes off that back left leg a little bit to the left more. Okay, you can see how when he pushes off, how his weight and momentum kind of take him that way. And that makes it so then, as he's coming through, he's not able to as effectively get all the full rotation. So now as he's doing that, now he starts to lean over to the side, which makes it a little bit less effective of a throw. In terms of his windup, you can see that he really drops the ball a good amount there and really almost like straightens out his arm. And then he goes, and when he's raising it up, he lets it go way back behind his head too, right? So see how the ball's going all the way back here, and then from there is delivered. So just a good amount of wasted motion, right? Not very efficient. Efficiency is important. So we'll get to see another angle here. This is from the front. Again, we see a big long stride. Okay, we would want to get our feet down a little bit sooner than that. We also see the ball dropping down. We see that elbow going back a little bit too far, right? So when you load, you really just want to go right back with the elbow and then come up from there. We don't really want to straighten out that arm and then from here, bring the arm more back, right? So that initial movement right here, that should be your load. Then from here, your elbow should just be going upwards, not backwards at all. Okay, so now instead of because that elbow goes back, then the hand ends up going back. And this is all also due to that longer load, right? So he has more things that he can do behind him because of how much time he's allowing himself to take a step before he throws. So the idea would be to, that you don't have to not have a longer stride. That's not necessarily true, but if you do, you got to get your weight going quicker than how he is, right? So see how long it takes him to start getting all of his movement going forward. You really need to get on that front leg quick if you're going to have a longer stride. Plus, if you're going to have a longer stride, it can't make it so your release time is so long. That's really the big thing with Tim Tebow is he has just way too long of a release time. It takes him forever to finally get rid of the ball. So, that's one of the things I would say is a do not do. Now we have a little bit deeper ball. This one's not as bad. We can see that, and I hate to say it like that. This one, there's not, I guess, as much improvement that you need to do here. But the reason I say that is just because he pushes off that back leg a little bit sooner to make it so he has to get his weight forward. And just when you're throwing the deep ball, you can get away with a little bit longer release. He's still letting that ball get way back behind him. And because of that, he has to really rotate around and to the side a lot to make it so he can end up throwing the ball. And he doesn't really get, for as big of a guy that he doesn't really utilize his lower body as much. Just because when he pushes off that back leg, he almost pushes in a way. See how it kind of twists instead of pivots? So that makes it so his hips go to, and we saw that before, his hips end up shifting more to the left than they do to the right. And it has a lot to do with how you push off that back leg. You really should be pushing off of that big toe and making it so that leg's coming straight forward. You shouldn't make it so when you push off, that toe drops in like that, because that's not pushing off your back toe. That's almost like just moving your foot to the inside, right? So he's not really getting everything that he can. You can even tell when his foot comes off that it doesn't move his hips. His hips actually go the other way, right? If you're pushing off with that leg, you'd expect that to make it so his hips would move to the right if you're getting a good push off. But instead, his hips or his foot moves to the right, and his I guess hips move to the left, and then he uses his right leg a lot to really catapult him up and through. Which again, that's mostly just using your arm in order to throw. That's not really using a lot of your lower body. In order to get really a lot out of the lower body, you got to have a lot more rotation in the throw, and that's really something that he can definitely improve on. If he I think he's playing baseball now, so playing baseball, I would say that how he throws and how he moves is a lot more suited for that. So it's a little bit better position, but that as a quarterback, I guess watching this, there's definitely some good things you can take away in terms of how to be a little bit more efficient. Make sure you're not dropping that ball. Make sure you're not letting that elbow go back. You have that first initial load, and then from there you're going right through the throw. Also, don't try not to let that elbow or that ball to get too far back behind your head, or else you end up coming around a little bit more. And keep rotation going in the hips. If you push off that back leg in a way that makes it so you can't keep hip rotation, then you're going to end up leaning over to the side a little bit more and stopping rotation in the upper body. So those are all important keys and important things to think about in order to better yourself as a quarterback. As always, guys, thanks for watching these videos. We have a 5-month QB online program, an excellent program that will make it so you can become a lot better with your mechanics, have a better understanding of your mechanics, and you can really go through videos similar to these where we can really hone in on what are the things that you're doing good, not good. We have different types of throws that we do, so we could do 10-yard outs to the left, we could do deep ball, we could do a 5-step post, all those things that are difficult throws. We can really hone in on how to make sure those mechanics are great, and also if we need to do any stuff with coverages or defenses or anything like that, we want to help you out as much as we can. We also have exercises that go with the program as well. If you need one more or feel like you would needed more information, the link is in the bio. Just check out the link, and that will give you everything you need to know. Best program out there in terms of any type of online thing for a quarterback. We also have a free ebook. We have a 30-day free online membership. I mean, we want to just give you guys as much value as we possibly can. And go and check some of our stuff out. Subscribe if you haven't already. And as always, we will see you soon.